Good morning, dear students. So today we are going to start with the next topic of the same chapter which we were discussing last time from the chapter The Fundamental Unit of Life. So let's begin. Today we are going to discuss with another cell organelle, that is nucleus. Now what is this nucleus? As you have already studied in previous classes too, nucleus is the most conspicuous and the largest organelle of the eukaryotic cell. In animal cell, it is generally centrally located. However, in plant cell, it is pushed to the side due to the presence of large vacuole. It contains the hereditary material for regulating cell activities as well as for transfer to the next generations. Clear? Here is the diagram of nucleus is represented. As you can see in the diagram, nucleus consists of nucleolus, chromatin material, this thread-like structure, endoplasmic reticulum at the outer surface of the nucleus, pores in between the nuclear membrane, that is known as nuclear pore, and this nuclear membrane collectively known as nuclear envelope. That means outer membrane and inner membrane, and the space is known as perinuclear space. And the inside area, it is known as nucleoplasm. This is ribosome. Clear? So we are going to discuss what are the functions of nucleolus, chromatin material, nuclear envelope, and nuclear pore and nucleoplasm in the next. Now what is nuclear envelope? Nucleus is bounded by two nuclear membranes, as you have seen in the diagram, together referred to as nuclear envelope. What is nuclear pore? The nuclear envelope contains many pores which are called nuclear pores. These pores allow exit and entry of the molecules. Next is nucleoplasm. It is a transparent or it is a clear non-staining fluid material present inside the nucleus. It contains raw materials, enzymes, proteins, and metals for the synthesis of nucleic acid, that is RNA and DNA, and ribosomal subunits. Now, what is nucleolus? You have seen in the previous slide what is nucleolus, that round structure. Generally, one or more rounded bodies called nucleoli, singular nucleolus, are present in the nucleoplasm. It is dense, spherical, membraneless, and darkly stained structure. It is rich in protein and RNA molecules and acts as the site for ribosome formation. Nucleolus is known as factory of ribosomes. Why? Because synthesis of ribosome takes place inside the nucleolus. Ribosomes are helpful in protein synthesis in cytoplasm, and the synthesis of protein is done by whom? By ribosomes. Now next is chromatin material, that thread-like structure which you have observed in the diagram. It is a thin thread-like intertwined mass of chromosome materials and composed of genetic substance, DNA and proteins. The DNA possesses all the information necessary for the cell to function, to grow, and to reproduce further cells of the next generation. Basically, chromatin material is a thin thread-like intertwined mass of chromosome. Okay, and when it is not divided, that means that time when the cell is not going into the division phase, then this chromatin thread will be single, and after that when it will go for the division, then it will form a chromosome. That we will discuss in the next slide. One activity is given, children, to understand or to observe the nucleus. Now what we have to do in this observation of nucleus in animal cells, we have to take a glass slide and put a drop of water on it. This is done to put the material under microscopic observation. Using a toothpick or an ice cream spoon, you can scrape the side surface of your cheek. You have to gently scrape. You will not scratch it so that blood will, you have to scrape very gently. With the help of a needle, you can transfer this material and spread it evenly on the cleaned glass side. After taking out you will find out the cells, and then you will remove it with the help of needle, and then you will place it on the slide. After placing, to color this material, you can put a drop of methylene blue. Obviously, it is a transparent, so we need to give some stain. So we will use methylene blue stain on it. Finally, put a cover slip over this stain material and observe this temporary mount slide under the high power of microscope. You will observe a spherical or oval dot-like structure, clear, which is called nucleus. That is represented in the diagram here. This structure you will observe on the slide near the center of each. You will observe a spherical or oval dot-like structure called nucleus near the center of each cheek cell. Okay, you can see in the diagram too. Each cheek cell consists of this nucleus. Now, in the chapter of tissues, you will learn that these cells are squamous epithelium. You can draw diagrams of these cells on your observation sheet and label them. Similar structure, that is nucleus, has been observed in the onion peel cells as well. So in the next chapter, we have to discuss in little more detail that we will see in the next chapter. Now next is structure of chromosome. Before heading to the structure of chromosome, few differences we have to understand about nucleus and nucleolus. First is nucleus. It is covered by two membrane envelope, but in case of nucleolus, it does not have a covering membrane. Nucleus, it controls the structure and working of cells, whereas nucleolus, it synthesizes ribosomal units. Nucleus, it represents the whole eukaryotic complex that contains genetic information. But nucleolus, it is a component of nucleus. Clear? Now, what is this chromosome? As you can see the diagram, it is very clear what is chromosome. Chromosomes are thread-like structures usually present in the nucleus that becomes visible only during cell division. Cell division we will study at the end, that is mitosis and meiosis. Chromosome contain hereditary information of the cell in the form of genes, which is also known as hereditary units. Each chromosome is made up of two components. Okay, each chromosome is made up of two components. Basically, this chromosome is situated inside the nucleus, that thread-like structure, and it will become visible when it will undergo into the cell division, the structure which is shown. Now, what are the two components which is helping to make this chromosome? That is DNA, full form deoxyribonucleic acid, and proteins, or simply we can say histones and acidic protein. Clear? Histone and acidic histone is a kind of protein. Like most chromosome consist of two arms that extend out from a special region of DNA called the centromere. Clear? From this is the centromere of the chromosome. Now, centromere or primary construction gives a particular shape to the chromosome due to its position. Clear? Now, the other two end, this is known as chromatid. Clear? The center part is known as centromere, and the other two part is, each chromosome consists of two arms, and that is called chromatid, which lies side by side along their length. The two chromatids of a chromosome are attached to at a point called primary constriction of centromere. Now, on the basis of this centromere, again the chromosome divided into different types like metacentric chromosome, then submetacentric chromosome, acrocentric chromosome, telocentric chromosome on the basis of centromere. Like suppose if the chromosome in which the centromere is near the middle, the two arms are almost equal in length, is called metacentric chromosome. Submetacentric chromosome, the chromosome in which the centromere is slightly away from the middle part, and consequently its one end arm is slightly shorter and the other arm slightly long, is called submetacentric chromosome. Acrocentric, the chromosome in which the centromere is near the end and consequently its one arm is very short and the other arm is very long. Clear? That means this particular centromere will be here, and this part will be very short and the other part will be very long. So such kind of arrangement is known as acrocentric chromosome. Telocentric, the chromosome in which the centromere is at the tip of the chromosome and the arms are on one side only is called telocentric chromosome. That means this particular centromere will be at the top and it will only consist of one part. Such arrangement or such kind of chromosome is known as telocentric. So during the division, we see all these different types of chromosome. Now, before understanding what is this chromatid, before a cell divides, it duplicates its chromosome. That is, each DNA molecule of each chromosome makes a copy of itself and becomes associated with proteins. The two copies of chromosomes remain attached at their centromeres. As long as two copies of chromosomes are attached to the common centromere, they are called sister chromatid. Clear? Both chromatid of a chromosome are identical with identical genes during cell division. The two sister chromatids separate and each chromatid becomes an independent daughter chromosome. So during the division process, this centromere will divide and each cell will become a daughter chromosome. Clear? So this is all about structure of chromosome. Basically, it helps to carry the genetic information. Next is diploid and haploid number of chromosome. Now, what is diploid? The paired condition of chromosome is known as diploid, and a cell which has a full number of chromosome is called diploid cell. Body cells in human beings are diploid, right? We all have set of chromosome. That means pair of chromosome. Like 46 chromosome in each body cells in human beings represents diploid number of chromosomes, and 23 chromosome in the sex cells or gametes represents a haploid number. Clear? Now, what is haploid? A set comprising of unpaired of chromosomes of each kind is said to be haploid, and a cell which has half number of chromosome is called haploid cell. The gamete cell in human being is called haploid. So diploid state of organism is originated during the process of fertilization of sexual reproduction. During the fertilization, two haploid cells or gametes of different types, sperm of man and ovum of women, are fused together to produce a diploid egg. This egg divides by mitotic cell division to form numerous diploid body cells, making the body of the diploid organism. Clear? Now, next is functions of nucleus. What are the functions? It controls all the metabolic activities of the cell. Second, it regulates the cell cycle. Third, it transfers the hereditary traits. Traits means characters from the parent to the offspring. Clear? That means transfer of characters with the help of genes from the parents to the offspring, or from one generation to another generation. Next is cytoplasm. Now, what is the cytoplasm? The fluid and semi-fluid matrix of a cell between the nucleus and the plasma membrane containing various organelles and inclusions is called cytoplasm. The inner granular mass of the cytoplasm is called endoplasm, while the outer clearer layer is called cell cortex or ectoplasm. That means center area of the cytoplasm is considered as endoplasm and the outer area is considered as ectoplasm. Now, what are the things which is present in cytoplasm? Cytosol, cell organelles and cell inclusions, that is insoluble waste, storage product, these all. Clear? So next we will understand what is cytosol. The liquid part, or we can say fluid part of the cytoplasm, is nearly transparent and is called cytosol or cytoplasmic matrix or hyaloplasm. Cytosol contains a system of protein fiber called cytoskeleton, but otherwise appears transparent and structureless in the electron microscope. It contains about 90% of water, various cell organelles, and inclusions in it. It also contains ions and biomolecules necessary for biosynthetic process of the cell. All these materials may be present either as true solutions or as colloids. Clear? Next is, what are the functions of cytoplasm now? It is the site of metabolic processes of the cell. All the metabolic processes are occurring inside the cytoplasm only. It is a storehouse for the raw materials needed for metabolism in both the cytoplasm and the nucleus. It brings about exchange of materials between the cell organelles. It also exchanges material with the extracellular fluid or with the external environment. Beside that, it also distributes the nutrients, metabolites, and enzymes in the cell. Clear? So basically, these are the major important functions of the cytoplasm. So today we are done till cytoplasm. In next class, we will be starting with the cell organelle. Complete all the work and complete all the notes and revise the chapter. Thanks. Happy learning.